Most people are waiting until they have enough money saved to buy a home. But what if you don't have to wait at all? You don't have to wait. But getting there requires looking at homeownership differently than most people have been taught. I want to show you what becomes possible when you stop waiting for the perfect down payment and start looking at the full picture of what affordable homeownership can actually look like. Because for a lot of people, the version that becomes available when they open up their options is better than the one they were waiting for. Hi, my name is Matthew. I've been a mortgage broker and a real estate agent. But more importantly, Tawnee and I were exactly where a lot of you are right now. We wanted a home with some land. We didn't have a large down payment, and the traditional path wasn't going to work for us. But what happened next changed everything. Here's the story most people are living. They work hard. They try to save, but rent keeps going up. Prices keep climbing, and every time they think they're getting closer, the math reminds them that they're not. So they start to shrink the dream. Maybe someday. Maybe when prices come down. Maybe when we finally have enough saved. And I understand that feeling completely. Tawnee and I had it too. That quiet resignation that says, maybe this just isn't for regular people like us. But here's what I know now that I didn't know then. That feeling wasn't the truth. It was the result of being shown one version of what homeownership could look like. Most people spend years waiting to have enough money saved for a path that may never actually fit their life. They're saving for a 20% down payment on a home that keeps getting more expensive in a market that keeps getting more competitive. And the whole time, there are other paths sitting right there that they were never shown. The transformation doesn't happen when you finally save enough. It happens when you change what you're saving for. Imagine starting not with the perfect home in the perfect location at the perfect price, but with a small, affordable piece of land in a place that fits your budget. Just a starting point. Something that's yours, that you own. Now imagine putting an RV or a tiny home or a little cabin on that land. Something livable, something you financed creatively, without a large down payment, and without a 30-year mortgage hanging over your head. You wake up on your own property. You're building something. And you did it all without waiting until the numbers were perfect. Now imagine 2 or 3 years later, looking out from a home you built on your own terms, on land you actually own, with a monthly payment a fraction of what you would have paid on a traditional mortgage. That's not a fantasy. That's our actual story. And it started exactly the way I just described. Not with a large down payment, not with a perfect credit score, and not with a traditional mortgage. It started with a different definition of what a home could be. When Tawnee and I finally stopped trying to make the traditional path work and started looking at what was actually within reach, everything shifted. We found land we could afford because we were willing to look in a different location. We got our first home on that land using rent-to-own financing with a $1,000 deposit. We built on from there, one step at a time. And today, we live in a 2,400 square foot barndominium home. And we did it all without a big down payment or a 30-year mortgage. The life we have now didn't require us to wait until we had enough. It required us to redefine what enough looked like. Your version of this story is going to look different than ours. You might buy an existing home. Your home might look completely different. Your timeline will be your own. But the transformation starts the same way for everyone. It starts when you stop measuring yourself against a path that wasn't designed for your life and start asking what's actually possible with what you have right now. That's what the 3 keys to affordable home ownership unlock: location, housing type, and financing. Not just as individual options, but combined as a path to a life that actually fits. You don't have to wait to save tens of thousands of dollars. You can start today with what you have. Want to learn more? Click the link.